Hello everyone and welcome to my very first YouTube video. A few of you might know me from Instagram already. On Instagram I am regularly posting on the content fitness, healthy lifestyle, balanced diet. So yeah, I would be happy if you also checked out my Instagram. My name on Instagram is the same as here on YouTube. It's fitwithkatrin. So yeah, would be happy to connect there as well. But I've actually always wanted to start YouTube in addition, because YouTube is absolutely my favorite social media platform. It has always been like this, and I guess it will always stay like this as long as YouTube exists. I just love watching YouTube videos. I just find it so inspiring to just, I don't know, watch vlogs, watch what other people are doing in their daily lives, but also get inspired by just normal people like you and me who decided to put up their cameras and let us be part of their lives. That's why I just love YouTube so much. But the reason actually is quite ridiculous why I've never really dared to start my channel, and it's my English. I always wanted to start this channel in English because I'm also doing Instagram in English, and I just feel like in English it's just so much more easy to connect to so many people, because if I did it in my native language, German, then of course I would only reach German people, and I just really wanted to be a bit more international. But as you can hear, my accent is very German. And I've always been a bit insecure about my accent, although I do speak English regularly. I work in a very international company where we only speak English. I just cannot get rid of this German accent, and it's probably because I mostly talk to other people who are not native English speaking people, so this is also why my accent doesn't really improve. So if you hate German accents and you don't want to listen to my German accent, I guess you will have to watch someone else's YouTube videos. But if you're okay with it, I would be really happy if you stayed here and maybe gave me some tips on how I can improve my accent. Anyway, this channel is not supposed to be on language and accents. It's actually about the topic of fitness, healthy lifestyle, and so on, what I'm also doing on Instagram, because this is a topic that is very close to my heart. In this video in particular, we will speak about a topic that's even closer to my heart, because this is what even has brought me to making a channel on fitness in the first place. And it's yo-yo dieting, crash dieting, the crash dieting trap, you name it. It's been with me for my whole life. Like, I've grown up as always the chubby kid, always chosen last in PE class, always been told like you will never be a fit person. And at some point I've just turned around my life completely, but it took me a lot of effort, a lot of research on how to get out of this crash dieting cycle. I eventually got out, and I will tell you a bit more about my personal story right after the introduction. But yeah, as I said, it was a lot of effort, and I really want to make this easier for you guys. If you're now watching this and if you've always been caught in the crash dieting trap, always gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, you know what I mean if you're affected, and you are really now ready to make a clear cut and say, okay, I don't want this anymore. I want a balanced diet. I want to have a good relationship with food and with exercise and finally get out of this trap. Now, starting now and continuing with this in 2024, then I think it's great that you have found my channel, and it could even be a sign that you're finally done with this. Of course, it's never the best to say, okay, I will start with this in 2024, but I think now it's December, it's like everyone has this motivation to start fresh in the new year, and sometimes I think it's good to take this energy and yeah, take it as a kickstarter to start actually, yeah, maybe entering a new life, a better chapter of your life, the chapter that you deserve in 2024. As I already mentioned, it took me a lot of effort to get out of this trap, because there's so much that you have to know. Like, you really need to get the knowledge on how to get out of this trap. And I've actually written a short e-guide on this topic, which is now available on Etsy. I think it has only like 21 pages or something. I've literally summarized everything that I've learned in, at least to my perception, in the most understandable, comprehensive way that I was able to summarize it. So I would be super happy if you checked out my guide and maybe purchased it, because I really believe that this can help so many of you finally getting out of the trap without having to put in all of this research effort that I had to put into it. But yeah, in addition to this guide, I just wanted to make this YouTube video also, to speak to you about this topic a little bit, to maybe speak a bit more about my personal story, because that's what I just summarized very shortly in this guide. And yeah, to just give you some additional motivation and inspiration to finally get out of this trap. So as I already said, I grew up always being the chubby kid, the one that was chosen last in PE class. I was always told, okay, you're the smart kid, you have good grades, but you will never be fit, you will never be sporty. And that's just the belief that I grew up with. This probably lasted until I was 15, 16 years old, until I was also probably exposed to social media, the internet, different types of dieting for the first time. And I thought, okay, now I'm fed up with this. I just really want to lose weight. I just want to look good for the boys. That's probably just what most of us have thought when we were 15, 16. And it actually worked. Like, I discovered cardio. There were marketing campaigns, especially for young women. You have to do cardio, do lots of cardio, go to the gym, go on the treadmill, do cardio and more cardio, and you will lose weight. And that's what I did, and it actually worked. But of course, I was young. My metabolism was much faster, of course, when I was 15, 16. And it actually had worked quite well for a while, until I was probably 18. I just graduated from high school. I started my bachelor's immediately. So I just turned 18 and moved to a different city away from my parents, had to take care about myself. At the same time, had to take care about my studies. So my priorities just moved, right? So while I was in school, I had really, really awesome parents who took care of everything in the household and so on. I didn't really have to do much. I just focused in school, and my free time focused on losing weight. But this, of course, changes when you move out and you're suddenly responsible for yourself. And then also my priorities changed, and my priorities went away from cutting out carbs and doing as much cardio as I could. And this is also probably the point where I fell into the crash dieting trap for the very first time, because my body just didn't have the energy to keep up with this low amount of calories anymore. I had so many things that I needed to take care of. I just needed to eat normally again. I didn't even eat massive tons of food. I was never binge eating or something like that. I just started eating a bit more normal again. Okay, of course, I also drank a bit more alcohol, which is just what you do when you first start your bachelor's. But yeah, I just regained all the weight, and even more. And I think this is the dangerous thing about crash dieting traps, and this is why it's called a trap, because then you regain all the weight and you become so frustrated that at some point you start an even more radical diet. And this is exactly what I did. I started an even more radical diet than before, despite all of my new priorities, and ate less and did more cardio and so on. And then, of course, maybe like the first exam phase came. I had to study, and again, I didn't have enough energy to live with such a low amount of calories. And then the same happened. I regained all the weight again. And I even started a more radical diet. And this is this vicious cycle of crash dieting, right? Because you always you go from, oh, finally I lost some weight again, but in such an unhealthy way that your body just cannot keep up with it anymore. And then you regain all the weight and you're even more frustrated and start a more radical diet. This is exactly the dangerous thing, and it's super toxic and super unhealthy. Yeah, and this is how it all started for me, and it kept going until, I'm not gonna lie, kept going until end of 2021. I started my bachelor's in 2013, and I just got out of the crash diet trap in 2021. So you see how long this can go, and I'm just so sad now if I think about what I've done to my body with that, but I'm so glad that I got out of it now. Anyway, I don't even know what changed in 2021. I think my life was a bit more stable. I just had finished my master's degree. I started my first job. My life became a bit more a routine, I would say. So I had more time again. Like, it wasn't that adventurous anymore. Like, during my studies, I've moved here, I've moved there. I've lived in Japan for 1.5 years. I came back, and yeah, as I said, after my studies, I've moved to Munich for my first job. I've moved together with my ex-boyfriend then, and everything just became a bit more normal and calm. That's when I finally had the time to also reflect on myself, and if I'm happy with my life, if I'm happy with my body. And I quickly came to the conclusion that I'm so unhappy with my body, not only the way I look, but also the way I feel. I just didn't feel comfortable, because at that point I was again at a point where I had regained all the weight, and I was just so unhappy. And I thought, like, why I've done so many diets, why is it that I just cannot keep my weight stable? Why do I always have to lose and gain 10 kilos? Why is it like that? Is it genetics? Is it really something that I just cannot do anything about? Is it something that I can change? I don't know. And that's when I really started to do my extensive research in my free time. And then I found out that it's not genetics. Of course, genetics do play a role with the way your body type is, the way you look, and so on. But being caught in the crash dieting trap is something that you can out of. And believe me, you can. If you're watching this now and maybe you've also pitied yourself a bit because you think that's just genetics, you're just not meant to have a stable weight, this is not true. And let me repeat that again, it's not true. Everyone can get out of the crash dieting trap, and so can you. And I am the living proof that it's possible to get out of the crash dieting trap. But there are really a few things that you have to work on. And maybe to summarize, the most important key factors are your mindset. This is very crucial before you start everything else. Then it's to some extent like the knowledge that you just need on nutrition, on what is reverse dieting, how much calories do you actually need, and so on metabolism, how it works, the human metabolism. And then afterwards, yeah, as I said, it's definitely nutrition. You have to get out of this like radical thinking in, now I'm doing a diet and then I'll stop a diet. I will talk about this later again, but nutrition is definitely a key factor. And then it's movement, exercise, strength training, the importance of strength training. I've never really understood it, but these are the key factors that have helped me. And let me speak about them a bit. I'm not going into too much detail here, I guess, because as I said, I've summarized everything in my guide, and I don't want this video to be like an hour long or so. I guess you guys have something else to do today. But yeah, maybe if you have time over Christmas, between the years, I would be so happy if you read my guide, because I really do believe that this is super valuable for anyone who wants to get out of the crash dieting trap. So the first thing that I really worked on was my mindset. I have always worked out in, let's say, early spring to summer, because I was panicking when summer was approaching every single year, because I thought, okay, I have to look this and that way in summer in my bikini. This is such a toxic mindset, guys, but this is what I've been caught in for so many years. I've only, working out was not to make me feel strong, to make me feel healthy. It was literally just to look good for boy XY in summer and impress someone by looking a certain way in a bikini or in a summer dress. Honestly, I cringe only thinking about this, but this was my mindset. This really this all or nothing mindset. I need to do everything I can, eat as few calories as possible until summer, then I will look good in July and August, and then what's afterwards? Of course, this is what led me into the trap again. Afterwards, I didn't really have a goal anymore. I thought, okay, now summer's over anyway, I can just regain all the weight and start again in spring. And this is so toxic, because fitness should not be a short-term project, and especially not to impress someone or to look good for someone else. Fitness is so much more, and I finally understood that now. Fitness is something like a fit body. I mean, I only have my body, right? This is my health. My body is the only thing that is keeping me going, that's getting me out of bed every single day, that is enabling me to move, to go to work, to meet my friends. Your health is literally everything you have, and you should really treat it as a treasure for yourself. And when I finally understood this, I began to see fitness as a lifelong journey. I want to live a healthy, long life. I want to be healthy as long as possible. I want to have dense bones, muscles as long as possible. I mean, we're all aging, right? But we can all slow down this process of aging by living a healthy life and moving our bodies. And this is what I've really understood at some point. I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this because I want to have a long, healthy life and not to look good in summer 2023. I mean, what am I going to remember from my life if I'm, I don't know, 80 years old at some point? Hopefully I will be 80 years old at some point, but I'm not going to remember how I looked in my bikini in 2023 in July, but I will remember all of the memories that I made, all of the people that I met, all of the adventures that I was on, and this is only possible with a healthy body. So yeah, really learn to get away from this all or nothing toxic mindset where you work out just to impress others. I could speak about this mindset topic for hours, but this would be too much for one YouTube video. What I just really want you to take away is that you have to work on your mindset first before you actually work on your physique related goals, right? Mindset is everything, guys, believe me. As soon as I've understood this, I really needed to go into the biological details on how I can actually get out of this trap now and what actually led me into this trap. So I'm not a biochemist or anything, and I'm also saying that in the disclaimer of my guide. I am not a medical doctor, I'm not a biochemist. I can only tell you from my experience what worked for me. And I've definitely done some research on how the human metabolism works, but definitely I guess my advice is for people who don't have like a severe metabolism issue, for people who are like healthy in general. So please only take my advice as some inspiration and never as some medical advice. If you seek some medical advice, always speak to your doctor. But I've understood at some point that I'm only harming my body if I eat super low calories. In my guide, I'm speaking a lot about your basal metabolic rate and then your activity calories, which I'm not going into too much detail now, but basically we all have our basal metabolic rates, which is the amount of calories that we need when we are resting. So if you didn't do anything else than just lying on the sofa the whole day doing nothing, then you would still need to eat a certain amount of calories to keep your heart running, to keep your brain functioning, your liver, and like all the vital processes. So this is the amount that you need to eat in any case. But the dangerous thing about crash dieting is that many people at some point eat even below their basal metabolic rate, which is then also the reason why a lot of women lose their period when they are eating too few calories. And then in addition, you burn your activity calories. So you're walking to work, you are taking the stairs, you're just walking around in your apartment cleaning or whatever. Like all the calories that you burn in addition by moving, these are your activity calories. To put it in a very simplified way, of course, there are a few more factors that play into this, but if you roughly add your basal metabolic rate to your activity calories, you should end up with around your maintenance calories. So your maintenance calories are then the amount of calories that you should eat if you just want to maintain your weight. And the problem is that if you eat in a large calorie deficit for too long, you slow down your metabolism, because our human metabolism still works the way that it has worked thousands of years ago, when the humans still had to hunt their foods, right? They didn't have access to food 24/7. And I'm not saying that every person on this earth has access to food 24/7, but at least in the developed countries we do have that nowadays. But the people at that time, they just needed to, as I said, hunt their food, find their food, and sometimes they went through phases of starvation because they couldn't find any food. And this is why the human metabolism works that way, and it still does today, unfortunately. It slows down when your metabolism notices, okay, there's not enough food, but I need to survive, right? Your body's only goal is to survive. And that's why it slows down. And your body then becomes more efficient. It can live and keep your heart running, keep your brain running with a fewer amount of calories. It gets more efficient, it slows down. But especially when you are in a very large deficit, maybe even eat below your basal metabolic calories for a while, which is super dangerous, your body just screams for energy, because it's just an alarm signal, right? Your body notices, okay, I'm getting such a few amount of calories that I'm maybe not even able to keep the vital functions running anymore in long term. I need energy. And this is when you get cravings. This is when you suddenly want to eat 2 large pizzas because your body needs energy. This is not because you're weak or you cannot stick to your diet or something. Your body needs energy. And then what happens is you have to eat normally again at some point. Your body forces you to eat more calories again because otherwise it couldn't survive. But you have already slowed down your metabolism to a point where your normal maintenance calories are now reduced. So let's say your maintenance calories used to be 2,100 calories, but then you've done a crash diet, your metabolism slowed down, it didn't need that large amount of calories anymore, and now you only need 1,700 because, as I said, your metabolism had slowed down. Then if you suddenly start eating 2,100 again, of course you are in a surplus. And this is when you regain all the weight, and that's the dangerous thing. But now you probably ask yourself, okay, then how do I speed up my metabolism again? And this is exactly the point where you have to start after just coming out of the crash diet. And if you've worked on your mindset, if you are now ready to finally say no to crash dieting, then it's time to speed up your metabolism again through nutrition and exercise. And there are a few scenarios that I'm going into detail about in my guide because, yeah, we really have to calculate your basal metabolic rate, your maintenance calories, and now see where you ended up with after your last crash diet. Are you by now eating far below your maintenance calories, maybe even below your basal metabolic rate? Are you eating at your maintenance calories but are still gaining weight, or are you eating in a surplus right now? This is what we have to find out first, and I'm giving you some instructions on how to do that in my guide. But to summarize, what's definitely or most likely the fact for everyone who just came out of the crash dieting trap is that you've slowed down your metabolism. And at this point I want to introduce you to a concept, and maybe you've heard about it once, that is very important for people who are coming out of a crash dieting trap, and this is called reverse dieting. Reverse dieting is a concept where you increase your calories week by week from like 50 to 100 calories more every single week until you reach your maintenance calories again. And this is a concept where you slowly increase your calories week by week to slowly get your body used to the higher amount of calories again, and not suddenly eating, I don't know, 600, 700 calories more. Because then you would be more likely to gain some body fat. But if you do that slowly week by week, your metabolism actually speeds up, and this is the important thing, you're speeding up your metabolism again week by week, and this is when you will finally be able to reach your maintenance calories again and eat on a normal level of calories without gaining much body fat. So reverse dieting, I'm also again going into more detail about it in my guide, but this is a concept that is super important for people who got out of the crash dieting trap. The difficult thing about it is again the mindset. So it's difficult for someone who says, I'm not happy with my body, I want to lose fat, to eat more every week. But you have to do that. Like, first, really, please don't focus on losing weight or fat. Please now focus on fixing your metabolism and just be healthy again. And as soon as you've done that, then you can focus more again on nutrition and exercise and see how you can lose some body fat. And here nutrition is really important, because most of us who've been caught in the crash dieting trap, we probably have a really bad relationship with food. And I had the same. I thought carbs are bad. I believed all the rumors that were spreading around on the internet, and you really have to educate yourself on food. And this is when I learned that carbs are not my enemy. Carbs are a super important macronutrient, one of the 3 macronutrients: carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. So this is something that I had no idea about before, that I need all of them. Well, technically your body could live without carbs, but it's not recommended. Carbs are super important, especially when you do sports, strength training. Carbs are a super easy source for your body to take energy from. So really educate yourself on nutrition. A high protein diet is so important, especially when you want to grow and maintain your muscles. You also need vitamins, of course. You need healthy fats. Fats are also not your enemy. I think people are often mixing up body fat with the fats that you eat. You need to eat fat. Healthy fats are important for you, and your body could literally not live without fats. In general, there are so many rumors about nutrition that have made us women falling back into crash dieting traps, and we need to educate ourselves on that topic. Also, do not cut out certain food groups. Do not do soup diets or whatever crazy diet the internet is suggesting to you. Don't do that. You need a healthy, balanced diet and not something radical, one-sided. And you know what? I'm eating chocolate almost every day. I'm eating crisps. I'm going out with my friends for a drink. Of course, that's up to you whether you drink alcohol or not. But what I just want to say is I'm not cutting out anything anymore. And it's not necessary. Believe me, it's not necessary. And then afterwards, exercise and movement are super important. I mean, it's not mandatory to do sports regularly, but I would highly recommend it to you because it doesn't only help you with your goals, but of course it's also super healthy and important to move your body, especially today that we are all just sitting in front of our laptops the whole day. And also around the topic sports, exercise, there are so many rumors and myths that are just completely wrong. I have believed for such a long time that women are supposed to do cardio only. Men do strength training, men build muscle mass, and women do cardio over cardio. And this is bullshit. And you know what the greatest thing about strength training is? If your body builds muscle mass, then you speed up your metabolism even more and you can eat even more. Because muscle mass is actually just an extra burden for your body. So your body is always doing everything it can to keep your fat storage. But as I said, if you build muscle mass, it requires your body extra energy. And let's say you build some decent amount of muscle mass and then from one day to another you just stopped. I'm just saying that in a super exaggerated way now to give you the example, but let's say you stopped from one day to another, only chilled on the sofa, barely ate anything, then the first thing that your body would get rid of is the muscle mass, because your body needs the body fat to survive, but it doesn't necessarily need the muscle mass. And as your body needs to burn extra calories every day to keep up that muscle mass, of course it will get rid of your muscles first. So I'm not saying that cardio is bad. Cardio is great. Cardio is amazing for your cardiovascular system. And I am definitely going for a run once a while. And I'm getting in as many steps as possible. I'm walking whenever I can instead of taking the public transport. But still, strength training should not be neglected. Strength training is actually what makes you look toned in the end. And many of us want to look a bit more toned, right? Of course, as I said, it's not only about the physique-related goals. We never only train to look a certain way, but I mean, we all probably have something in mind that we want to look like. And probably, including me, many of us want to look a bit more toned. And it's not cardio that takes you there, it's strength training. And you don't need to be afraid that you will look bulky or manly once you implement some strength training into your life. Girl, you would have to lift so heavy for years and eat so many calories for years to actually look bulky. It's really difficult to look bulky, and I wish it was easier. I really want to build some of more muscle mass, but it's not that easy. So don't worry, go to the gym and implement some strength training into your life. Believe me, it will be worth it. In my guide, I'm also giving you a few example workout plans that you could do, and really don't go from 0 to 100 here. If you've never entered a gym before and now you say, okay, from 1st of January on, I'm going to the gym 5 times a week. This is too much. Don't set the goals too high. It's not possible then to stick to those goals in long term. Start slowly. Go 2 times a week. Do 2 full body workouts per week at the gym and see how you like it. Of course, no one forces you to do strength training. It's just what I recommend. And for me, it's a lot of fun to do strength training, but I also understand if it's not everyone's thing. Find the sports that you like, but if you say you want to start going to the gym, start with 2 times. And if it's fun for you, go to 3 times, go to 4 times. I am by now working out 4 times per week. I am fitting in these workouts to my personal schedule. I do have a full-time job, but for me it's best to go in the morning. I don't have a problem with getting up at 6 a.m. and go to the gym before work. If you can't do that, if you feel more energized at night, go at night. So just make it fit with your personal schedule so that it's still enjoyable for you and nothing that you have to force yourself to. So to summarize, what got me out of the crash dieting trap? First of all, a complete mindset shift. Not working out anymore to look good in summer, not working out for others, not working out only to look a certain way, but to live a healthy, strong, happy life. And I'm not saying that you read my guide and then you finally changed your mindset completely. Your mindset is something that you have to work on every single day, actually. Like, I've now been out of the crash dieting trap for almost 2 years, and I'm still working on my mindset every single day. Because you don't only need to get out of the crash dieting trap once, you have to stay out of it. And this is where you really need a good, healthy mindset. Then fixing your calories, educating yourself on what are my maintenance calories, what is the basal metabolic rate, how does the human metabolism react to calorie deficits, and so on. People who come out of the crash dieting trap usually have I'm not saying broken metabolism, but slowed down metabolism, and this was exactly the case for me. I don't want to generalize anything. As I said, I'm not a medical doctor or something, but I mean, I've also heard the stories of many other people who got out of the crash dieting trap, and in most cases people had slowed down their metabolism. And once you fix that, make sure to implement daily movement and exercise into your daily life. And I'm not saying daily exercise, daily movement. Yes, you should move your body daily. At least I'm doing that, and it's making me feel so much energized. And exercising regularly. As I said, you don't have to do heavy, long workouts every single day, but find a plan that just works with your schedule. And then nutrition. Educate yourself on what are the macronutrients, what are micronutrients, what does my body need, while also allowing yourself to still eat the foods that you love, right? If you love chocolate, eat chocolate. I mean, food should be something that you enjoy, right? Life is so long. If you restrict on food and never eat a piece of chocolate anymore, then what? Are you going to be happy? I guess not. Include the foods that you love into your diet. I'm usually trying to eat 80% healthy, whole foods, foods that are nutritious, and 20% I eat what I want. Because why not? A piece of chocolate is not going to make me gain 10 kilos. And this is also something that you learn when you educate yourself on nutrition. You finally see that like chocolate or carbs are not your enemy. You just need to find a balance. You need to have a feeling for what has how many calories and how much chocolate can I fit into my maintenance calories. Like, just educate yourself on that topic. It will absolutely be worth it. So it's a combination of education, mindset, but of course also being consistent with something, having a decent amount of motivation. You cannot be motivated every single day. That's not possible. But know your why, stay consistent with it, and strive to live a balanced, healthy life without one-sided diets, without restrictions, because one-sided things, trying to find shortcuts to achieve something, is never the way, believe me. I've been through it for so many years, and I finally got out, and ever since then I'm the happiest, healthiest, strongest version of myself. And as I said, if I could do it, you can do it. Believe me, you can. Stop thinking you can't. Stop believing when other people say you are just not the sporty one, you're just not the fit one, but you are this and that. No, if you are fit, if you say you are a fit person, you are. Believe in yourself and just start making small changes. And with that, thank you so much for watching my very first YouTube video. I hope you liked it. I would absolutely be happy if you subscribe to my channel, but also if you gave me some feedback in the comments. And in the future I will upload, I don't know, give me some suggestions, whatever you want to see. I want to do vlogs, I want to educate you guys on more fitness and nutrition related topics, maybe give you some food inspo, but also, yeah, the channel is only living from your input, so please let me know what you want to see on my channel. And with that, I finally stop talking. I wish you an amazing day, and as I said, I would be super, super happy if you supported me and purchased my guide. I really, really do believe that I've created a product that can help women to get out of this crash dieting trap. By the way, it's an e-guide, so you don't have to wait for me to send it to you, so you will get a PDF straight away. And if you purchase my guide, I would be super happy if you let me know if it was valuable for you, or give me some feedback if there's any knowledge that you're still missing. I'm always trying to improve, and yeah, it's just my vision to help other women to finally get out of this crash dieting trap and live the healthy, balanced life that they deserve. See you next time, guys.